one of the common pieces of feedback that we've gotten is how do we benchmark ourselves? How do we know if this is the right inventory level? How do we know if this is, an okay level of stockouts that we have? Any suggestions for, our listeners to set benchmarks and say, like, this is good, this is great, this is not okay?
Sure. It all depends on the industry. Each industry is different, whether you are in the food and beverage industry or you're in the mining industry. So each industry or manufacturing, they do have different kind of numbers, but they're kind of parallel. There are industry standards out there. For instance, if you look at your top of the line MRO inventory in a proactive facility should be 2% of your overall asset value. So if you have $100 million worth of assets out on the floor, you would want 2% of that in your storeroom for critical spares. And we base critical spares. I'm kind of segueing into the next thing I want to talk about is we base critical spares as basically insurance spares, and they are the most critical, and they're usually the highest cost, the longest lead time, and things of that nature. And then you have B items and C items, and they kind of cascade down a list of importance. So the big thing is understanding what your true value is. And in a baseline for anybody, if you want to just talk the way it should be, layman's terms, if you have $1, 2% of that dollar should be in your storeroom at a proactive setting. Now, I've seen it as high as 10 or 20%. It's unbelievable. So the better you get in maintenance and proactive maintenance and reliability, the lower your storeroom inventory becomes, because then things or they flow through your storeroom instead of having to be stored in your storeroom.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that serves as a really good benchmark for our listeners to say, all right, this is what we want to run towards. It doesn't matter necessarily where we are today.
That's right.
It's about where we want to go in the future. And I think having that just North Star, so important.
It really is. And like I said, this is also, Ryan, based on what industry you're in, okay? Because there are some more technical industries where you may have to increase your storeroom based on availability of parts, whether they're coming from different parts of the globe. So you really, don't hold yourself to the fire. Basically, your storeroom is a mirror of your maintenance program. I can walk into any facility without even knowing anything about your maintenance program, or even going out on the production floor, and tell you where you're at just by looking at your storeroom operation. It's a key indicator of where you're at. Seriously, it truly is.